Morning, welcome to London. Today I thought I'd just take you around on a normal day of street photography. I feel like I'm showing you all the shots that I have taken that are good and not just a general day. You're not getting a true idea of how many shots I actually take and how many are actually usable. So I'll take you around for my typical day of street photography. We're sort of at Tower Hillside now. We're going to have a little mooch around the normal city and then we can go out further to West London in the evening time. But let's get on. I'll show you what photos I take and just the general day of my street photography. Let's go. It's lovely the way the reflections go. So we've just come to this little art exhibit thing, and it's a bunch of half see-through balloons and they're projecting a lot of different colour, and on the floor when the sun hits a building and reflects off of it creates a lovely little shadow, and I want to try and capture someone in that shadow, but I don't think it's working quite as well as in my mind. But we've got to take those first initial pictures to get in the flow of things and just, you know, get the brain pumping, get the mind thinking, and yeah, it's a good place to start, I suppose. Yeah, so what I'm looking for is someone like in this reflection, but it's not really working. Someone like in full stride, but it's not how I expected it to be. People going around the light, which is okay. And there's a nice little bit of light coming off the building next to it, but I want someone going through it, ideally on their own, and ideally with some good colour on them, but I don't know if I'm going to get that. We'll wait here for a bit though. It's all about waiting for the right subject when you get a scene like this. So that was a little fun diversion, I suppose. We're around the Gherkin now, which is a big iconic building in the London city skyline, and there's like little V shapes cut out into the bottom of the building, and you could proper frame someone in it. But I'm just trying to see whether the light's right, if the light's gonna be right, for us to take an actual photo. So we'll do a little loop, see what happens. There's no rush. There's just finding the right light, finding the right subject, and composing a good scene. Something which I don't always do right. But the light looks a lot better around here, so we'll see what we can see. And yeah, look, this is much better light. Problem is though, around that side the glass is cut out and there's no glass, but there's glass around this side, so it's going to be a bit more reflection-y. Let's see what we can do. There's not many people technically walking under it, they're all walking around it, but we'll wait for a bit. Again, compose the right scene, wait for the subject. So I'm finding myself walking past a lot of shots, and it's because my critiquing of myself has got higher. So I'm not really looking at every single person thinking, oh, that'll make a good shot. I'm more looking for a scene and waiting for the subjects which you've seen so far. But it means we're walking past a lot of things that potentially might be good for beginners, but just not good for me. And that's technically what I do with all of my walking. I walk and just wait for someone that actually fits the scene. And 9 times out of 10, I'm mainly just walking through the whole day. It's, you know, people might think that's a nice shot. I don't. People might think someone coming out of there is a good shot. I don't. It's a lot about finding the right scene for me and waiting for the right subject. And because I'm so critical of myself now, a lot of the stuff don't make the cut. I find that if I've got a successful day, I've took one good photo. That makes a successful day for me. So yeah, we'll keep walking. Most of this day is just gonna be walking. I know exactly where I want her. I think she might just be too short. Just too short. And that person didn't help either. See, when you're looking for solo subjects, it's so annoying when just someone comes up a little too quick and you mess up your whole shot because there's one person on their own and now there's not. So I quite like this scene. It's very empty, but what I'm thinking is silhouetting someone on the left side of the end, so not where the pillars are, but on the left side. But if they don't want to go to the left side, then we're just going to have to keep waiting, keep watching, and we'll wait for someone to actually go where I want them to go, like this person. The only problem is, if it was, you know, the ideal image, I wouldn't have him pushing the stroller, personally, but I suppose it's unique. It's, you know, not just someone walking or running, which is all I've seen for the past hour. Oh, there's another one. Now that's all I'm seeing. So more importantly than anything, you've got to keep yourself hydrated when doing these walks. So I've just had some water and an almond croissant, but I've got more almond croissant down me than I have in me. So no doubt we'll be stopping for another one before the day's over, that is for sure. Stock up on some water. I don't drink coffee or any caffeine, so water is the best thing for me. Been out here doing this for about 2 hours. Haven't got a single image that I think I'm in love with, you know. The ones with the bubble things right at the start of the day might have been okay, but I don't think I've got anything immaculate. We'll keep going there. I think that's my shot of the day so far. It's Millennium Bridge, and I've just thought, you know, it's more than one person, which I don't usually like, but I do like the fact that they're all in their own little cube of the bridge, and they're all, you know, not being cut off by anything. They're in their own little cube. They're framed by the rest of the bridge. I like that. It's very minimal. The sky's all whited out by the way that I did my f-stop, and they're silhouetted. It's really quite nice. Yeah. Shot of the day so far, I think. I'm gonna take a moment to just say that I appreciate the weather lied to me today. I come out expecting it to be grey and miserable, but it's not. It's really quite nice. And while I'm enjoying the sun, let's talk about what makes an interesting photo now. I'm gonna go into it more in depth in its own video, but let's talk about what makes an interesting photo for me and what you should look for yourself. So for me, I like minimalism, and I like something that tells a story, and something that tells a story or invokes an emotion is something that you should always look for getting the best sort of images. You know, it's something that will get more engagement, especially if you're posting it. So I always try and tell a story with my photos, even if it's telling the story using the light or telling the story using silhouettes and mystery. But for me, I don't just go along, you know, these people walking past, I don't just do that, because it doesn't make anything interesting, you know, there's no story there. But if you can use some light, make someone a silhouette, you know, you've got mystery there, or if you've got a interesting subject and they tell a story with the outfit they're wearing, it's always something more engaging than just some random people walking. So that's what I look for. It's a mix between fine art and typical street photography, I suppose. I don't think that's interesting at all. I don't know. It's all about finding, I don't know, different things that you find an image interesting, I suppose. And reflections are cool, but with the tint in the window, I don't think there's anything there. We'll wait for someone. It crosses, the bridge is there, it crosses underneath it, so it's quite common. It's certainly not as common as the south side of the river, but people will walk through it quite frequently, so we won't have to wait here long. But again, it's nothing special. I don't think it's going to be postable, but you got to get yourself in the flow. You got to keep yourself taking photos to keep yourself thinking like a photographer, if you will. Keep yourself thinking that you got the right scene, and you've got to keep thinking, where are these pictures going to come from? No matter if you think the image is going to be good or not. Keep yourself in that mindset, so you can wait for looking something, something might surprise us. Something might turn out really good from it, but we won't know until we take the shot. So I'm hoping that this has taught you that my typical street photography walks aren't the most fruitful in terms of the amount of images I get. It is now 3 o'clock, and since 1 p.m. where I got that shot on the Millennium Bridge, I have barely even brought my camera up to my face to take a photo. I haven't seen a scene or a subject that I found anywhere near interesting, and we're all the way over in the west side of London now, so it's just the way it is. Sometimes you just don't get that, and especially now the sun's gone away, there isn't scenes appearing out of nowhere because you get shapes and lines and shadows, but it's the way it is. I'm happy. I got that one shot that I think is really good from the Millennium Bridge, and I think a couple of others will edit up okay. These are the ones that I think on screen now that I actually like, but there might be a few that I might edit up and think that are decent as well. And between now and walking to the train station home, I may find some more shots, but who knows. It's only time will tell, but thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. Yeah, just a typical photo walk. It isn't always snap, 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 pictures everywhere, because that's not the way it is. Sometimes the way of the street photographer is you're just walking around for ages, and that's why you need good shoes and to keep hydrated, because we do a lot of walking in this line of work. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.